No.
Hey, welcome everyone. It's nice to see everybody's smiling face and see that everybody's well. Could somebody move for an approval of the agenda? Just a sec, I gotta get my screen adjusted here. Okay, Councillor Broderick, and a seconder. Krista?
Sure, thanks.
Okay. All right. And a disclosure of pecuniary interest or the nature thereof. Does anybody have a pecuniary interest to disclose? Okay. So approval of the minutes from September 15th. Be it resolved that the Accessibility Advisory Committee, we have to vote on the approval of the agenda. So is there any naysayers on the approval of the agenda?
Yeah, under the recommendation, it says September 13th instead of 15th.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So can we change that? Oh, you're.
A little bit more this way. That's my here.
Oh, it's the agenda for October 13th. Though.
You have to sit here.
Sorry.
Right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, we had to go back to item 2 for the approval of the agenda. Okay, and there's no negative. We're okay for the approval of the agenda.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there's no naysayers. Okay, and then, sorry, approval of the minutes from September 15th. Oh, I see where you are. Okay. Be it resolved that the Accessibility Committee hereby approve the minutes stated should be September 15th as presented.
Yeah.
Can I have a mover for that? Krista?
Yes, ma'am.
And Deb can second it? That's okay?
Yep.
Okay, is there any discussion over the minutes? I know there's some business out of it, but does anybody have any discussion?
Oh.
Okay. Okay, sorry, can we have a vote, please? Everybody? Yes?
Thanks,
Okay,
Doug.
we're good.
Oof.
Okay, and then business arising from the minutes. There was an independent living services. Krista, did you attend that meeting? Okay, you want to give us a bit of a report?
Yeah, I was supposed to attend, and then I emailed Kayla to let her know that I wasn't going to be able to, hoping that there was advanced enough notice that we could get another volunteer to do it, just because of, and I was really sick.
Oh, okay, that's too bad.
Yeah, and my daughter's boyfriend ended up having a seizure at the house.
Oh,
Like there was just 3 things that all happened within 3 hours. It was
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's unfortunate. Okay, well, we'll hopefully next year it'll be available for somebody to attend in person.
Yeah, and I'll attend.
There.
Yeah, I'm good for all of that stuff. Generally, it's not often that family life crisis has happened in my world. To be honest with you.
Yeah,
I live my life.
We've kind of all experienced that.
Yeah.
Not a problem. So the FADS document, I'm trying to, 5.2 was, sorry. I just have to bring this up a little bit bigger. So, sorry, Tammy, can you step in on about the FADS document?
Sure, absolutely. So I think that what we've learned through the process of reviewing the small halls, or the first small hall, while utilizing the FADS document, that was our first experience putting the FADS document to a specific project. And so we learned a few things. Part of what we learned is that maybe it's time for a review of the FADS document, and that maybe it's time for an update, because you know, unless you go through the process, then you aren't really aware of maybe some of the quirks or some changes that need to take place. So I hope to review the FEDS document with the information from Burnsides when they reviewed our small hall, and it's just escaping me which hall it was.
Was it Sunnydale?
I think it was Sunnydale.
Because they had some stuff that was kind of on the back burner, so I think probably that's probably the hall that we were looking at.
I think you're right, Deb. Thank you, Madam Chair. And so going through that experience, you know, with Scott Pattison, myself, and Terry Vachon, the General Manager of Parks, Culture and Recreation, you know, it sort of brought some things to light, some quick fixes and easy wins within the FEDS document. So I hope to have a look at that along with Scott Pattison. We made copious notes during the process, and so what I'd like to do is propose some changes to the Accessibility Committee and receive their approval or adaptions that we might propose, and then take it back to council before the end of the year for approval of a new FEDS document or an updated FEDS document. So that's sort of why that's on the agenda. I think it's time. It's been in place for 5 years, but this is the first time we've actually used it on a building.
Was there specific sections to the FADS document that you focused on? Like, or I know we looked at everything, but were there specific areas that we're kind of looking to change?
So some of the immediate ones that come to mind is maybe, you know, the window openings. There's definitely specifications on windows being able to open and at what height. There's also specifics on where, you know, water fountains or bottle filling stations are. Those were some big ones. There was also some specifics about where washrooms are placed, but it doesn't give some allowances to if there's you know, an elevator in place or a lift in place. So those are some things that immediately come to mind, but certainly not exhaustive by any means. And I think Scott's expertise on the building code and some of the things that just kind of maybe was in there that you know, wasn't exactly in line with some of this stuff that maybe was put in there in error. I'm not sure, but regardless, I think there's some opportunities to make it better and user friendly and more accessible friendly as well.
I think there's a big difference too between a retrofit and a new building too, and I think that's where we've kind of come into is, you know, when you're retrofitting something, you're kind of getting the best you can get for what you're starting with, right? And you know, to strive to make it better is good, but it's important that we keep the monetary part. I think if we're doing a new building like the part on the library, I think that's a totally different story, right?
I think that's well said. I think that, yeah, the section of the FADS document that speaks to renovations and updates maybe could be, you know, expanded upon, because I think that is the most of our facilities as opposed to new builds. And what does that look like from, you know, when you're starting from scratch and, you know, wish lists are wish lists. So.
Okay. So do you expect to have a presentation to our timelines are getting kind of tight. Do you expect to have a presentation for the next meeting, which would be November?
I hope to have something for you in November for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we can take it to council in December is my hope.
Yeah, because you guys will only have one meeting in December? Or will you have two?
Oh no, you're right. We only have one, December the 14th. So if yeah. Yeah, so if I can have stuff ready for the November meeting for this group,
Yeah.
and if there are any questions or concerns, or you know, then we can have time to make changes and
Yeah. Maybe keep in mind that if we do go away with questions for the November meeting, maybe we could set a meeting where we could meet kind of before, so that we don't run into the meeting period for council, so that we can still make the agenda with the changes.
Yeah.
And if we have questions or not, we can always call an early meeting. I think our meeting won't be until, I think it's the 10th of, the 10th of, no, 10th of December? No, 12th of December? 11th or 12th of December, I think, is our next.
Yeah.
I don't have a calendar in front of me, sorry.
I'm just checking. So November 10th would be our accessibility meeting,
Right.
I believe. And then our December accessibility meeting is December the 8th.
Okay. So, yeah, so if we may have to have it the first, either the end of November or the first week of December, if we had some questions or some recommendations that we wanted to bring forward to council. Okay, so just maybe people keep that in line. If the reports kind of ready a little bit earlier, then so that people have a chance to digest it, that might be a good idea if we can kind of bring it forward so people have some questions in November. So if they have questions, then we can bring them to that meeting.
Yeah, what I can do is absolutely send it to the group ahead of the meeting, like, and not the day of, you know, a week
Yeah.
or so in advance. And if I can show sort of the tracked changes in the document, so
Yeah,
to
that would
show
be great.
where the changes are happening, and then when you're reading it, although sometimes that's a little confusing when you're reading it, at least you'll know the parts that I touched on, you know, based on the reports Scott and I are bringing forward. You'll know the pieces that we've adjusted, and it'll stand out a little bit better.
Okay, that sound good to everyone?
Yes.
Yep.
Does anybody have any comments?
No, that would have been my suggestion, is doing a meeting earlier.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. And yeah, we'll kind of see where we need to go from there then. Okay. Kayla, we don't need a motion or anything. That was just kind of an update.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Okay. Is there any communications at all?
I haven't received anything on your behalf, Deb.
Okay. Good. And then site plans or building plans for review. Does anybody have anything underway?
Not that I've heard.
Is there any intention for the council chambers? I've kind of been out of the loop because I've been down here so much. Is there any intentions about rejigging the council chambers, or has that kind of been put on the back burner because of everything? I'm kind of directing it to Mayor Measures.
Thank you. No, we're still at encouraging people to continue to meet in this format. Council is not meeting in our council chambers at all. Mm-hmm. And in fact, when the staff here in the admin center use the room, I don't think there's more than 3, perhaps 4 people at all, even that number in the room at any one time. So no, there's no intention for any of our groups or committees to meet in person. That doesn't mean that you can't, it's just that we're not encouraging it. That's basically what we're saying.
Yeah, no, I know at one time there was a discussion about overhauling the council chamber for an update and everything else, right? And did that kind of get put on hold because of
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's sort of a separate issue. I was talking about just right now meeting in person.
No, I know.
But as far as a renovation for the town chambers, it is being discussed. It's still been the budget for it. We've got a couple of designs put together. Pam, our clerk, has been leading that charge. There is a little bit of a move afoot, and it's no secret that council is probably going to have a discussion with our residents about whether we change the size of our council, whether we move from 9 to another number. And so that may impact what renovations may happen in the chambers, right? Given the number of seats at the table, so to speak. So that hasn't happened yet. We're not sure exactly how that's going to happen, but given that we have a new CAO, scheduled to start sometime in the new year, we'll probably look at that perhaps around this time next year to have that discussion with members of council. So the renovation will happen eventually, and for certain, the business of the dais being lowered so it's all on one level is in the plan right now. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Helpful?
Yeah, no, it is. And just to keep the accessibility committee in mind whenever the ideas come forward.
Sure.
It might be nice to have them comment before, tenders go out and everything else.
For
right?
sure. Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing it myself.
Okay, good.
Good. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry. Any new business or items around town that anybody wants to bring up? No? Okay. Our next meeting is scheduled for November 10th. It sounds like it may be a little bit more riveting meeting than what we've been having lately. It's so difficult, to sit and meet like this. It's kind of nice whenever you have plans out in front of you and you can look at things, but it's nice to see everybody's face and everybody staying healthy. That's and if you are out and about and there's something that you need to bring to the table, that's great. How are things working out at the municipal building with the changes and everything? Are residents okay with it?
Let Tammy go
Go
ahead
ahead,
and then
Tammy.
I'll comment too, if that's Ken.
Yeah, actually, we've had a great response. I think we're fortunate in that, we were following these protocols in the grocery stores and the drugstores, before we opened our doors back up to the public. And so having the stickers on the floor that were scattered throughout the township at different businesses, is really been well received, and the glass being up as partitions for staff and for people popping in. The in and out door, not always does everybody remember to use the exit as the exit, but that's just habit. And so most people, when they see the big sign, they said, oh, I should go at that door. But it has been very well received, and everybody appreciates, I think, whether you're a resident coming in to pay your taxes or you're a staff member here, I think everybody's appreciating the protocols that are in place and that everybody's adhering to. So it's been good.
That's good.
I just want to add, if I can, from where I sit at my desk, the first couple of weeks or first couple of days anyway, I noticed people would come in, they would have their masks on, everything was fine, but they were not using the hand sanitizer. So we've got an automated hand sanitizing machine right there at the door, and people would just go around it. So one evening when I was leaving, I just kicked it over another foot, so it's really right in front of the door. And I've noticed people not using it more. It's literally as you walk in, it's right there. So people are now using it more often. I've noticed it.
I just hope that it's a bright color so people can see the contrast, so they don't trip over it when they walk in.
Oh, it's a big white box sitting right there with a big stop sign on it. It's pretty obvious.
Awesome.
Good.
That's good. Okay, if nobody has anything else, can we have a motion to adjourn? We just need a motion to adjourn, right, Kayla?
Yep. Sorry,
Yep.
tried to find that
Yep.
mute button.
Well, that would be Manfred's made the motion, and can I have a seconder? It's Christoph?
Yep.
Okay, and I guess we'll see everybody in November. Okay, have a good night.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay,
Thank you, Deb.
everyone.
Stay safe, Deb.